The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray, feeling good, Lewis. We're going to take a look at the German DAX and the FTSE. Look at these folks. They both have very interesting patterns. We have the German DAX making a 3-drive to a top pattern just absolutely perfectly. And then we have the FTSE making a perfect 1-3-5 pattern. Just absolutely beautiful how they lined up that way. They're starting to work, but whether they continue to look like they're going to remain bearish or not. You're right, Maria, they do look bearish, but these things can change in a heartbeat. And since we're over this really special total eclipse full moon perigee that's going today or tomorrow, you have to wait and see what's going to happen. Since we're talking about that, I got a nice little tickler from Mr. himself. Mr. calls it to the minute Winsky. If you remember, the last time we had something like this was back on the 29th of September. You'll notice that we hit that lunar eclipse and full moon. Look what happened when that occurred, folks. We went from 1880 in the S&P all the way up to 2120. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen again in reverse or whatever. I'm just saying that just happened. And it was probably, it could be a coincidence because these things don't work all the time. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But that's what everything's about. And that's why patterns are so good, because when they don't work, they're telling you that something's wrong. You got to get out of the way. I had an interesting day yesterday. As most of you know, I was in Istanbul, of course, by way of Zoom. I didn't fly to Istanbul. I've been to Ankara and Istanbul many years ago when it was easy to get there and not worry about being bombed or shot. But they had 400 people, folks. It was really quite amazing. And I had to have 2 translators because they had to do Turkish and also in Syrian. And it was really enjoyable. It was a 1-hour presentation that lasted 2 hours and 35 minutes. And they asked me everything under the sun. It was not about, the things that you would think they would ask about, like harmonic numbers or the opening price or the thing that I would have ordinarily been interested in. The main topic of discussion was the cryptocurrencies. I mean, they all had an infatuation. There were 2 people that had been on the September all-day trading session that we did last September when I recommended ADA Cardano at 6 cents a share, and it went to $2.50. And these gentlemen actually bought some, and they did quite well. And they asked me, when the next buy was going to come, and when would the top in the market for the Bitcoin occur. And so I had to tell them, exactly when that was. And so I told them it will be on September the 13th of 2022 at 10 o'clock in the morning. And then when they realized that I was full of baloney, then they realized that something was certainly wrong. So let's keep in mind that when we're watching these things, they can get out of control just a little bit, and you've got to have it with a tongue in cheek. But most of the things were related to the at cryptocurrencies. That's the main thing that they were worried about at that particular time. So if you have any questions, 877-927-6648, and we will have Tim Boss as our guest tomorrow. And I was just found out just about 20 minutes ago that the flight was delayed, and so I was able to do the show today, and I'll be back in Tucson tomorrow and be able to get the rest of the shows coming. Now, I wanted to spend just a moment here looking at some of these things that are occurring very, very rapidly. A question about Bitcoin. I'll get it up here right now. You'll see that we did come down to Bitcoin. Let me cover that, Mr. Z. I'm going to cover that super full moon and perigee right here. You'll notice here, this is the 61% retracement there at 31,000. We rallied up to 41,000 after that. And then we came back to test it again at 32. We're now trading at 38. So that's a very, very important low. as long as that low holds, we should have a little bit of a rally that should take us up to 48,000. But a little bird has told me that he is looking for Bitcoin to go down to around 20,000 to 18,000. And what that means is that doesn't mean that it's bearish at all. All that means is that's going to be the fifth time since Bitcoin became popular in 2012. That'll be the fifth time that's had an 80% correction. So you don't even see this unless you're looking at it on a log scale chart. And a log scale chart, this doesn't even look bearish at all. But just remember, watch that, 20,000 to 18,000 in the Bitcoin if it gets there. And there's going to be some negative news coming out because, these cryptocurrencies are related to energy stuff, and Mr. Johnson over there in the UK is sort of anti-Bitcoin, and they're gonna do something related to energy that's going to make it more difficult for these Bitcoin miners to mine this stuff. I don't know what it means, but supposedly it means something. Mr. Z's talking about the super full moon in perigee. When I first started to learn the astrology part of this, one of the things that really got my interest was the fact that you could see full moons and new moons. A lot of times that doesn't happen, but when you have perigee, which means that the Earth is as close to the Earth as it possibly can, or apogee, which is the moon is farthest away, those are very important times, because if you look when earthquakes occur, the major earthquakes, they happen usually right on perigee or apogee. So that's it. Yes, the little bird in the UK is by the name of Mr. John Jameson, and the little bird is he's what do we call a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Okay, let's get back to something serious. When we get back to the break, I have a question about the thing I want to mention is the, let me think 1 second here, is about foreign exchange. I'm going to spend the next section after we have this break talking about the difference between the foreign exchange markets and the CME. It's very important because, you'll have a way of looking at some of these things in a little bit different way. Now, let's look here at one other thing that might be interesting here to us, and that is the gold. We're going to cover that too in a little bit, but you'll notice here, folks, that we've been waiting for this price in the gold to get to this 1897 level. You'll see that the GLD made it today. It made the 78% retracement. That's equivalent to what we were looking for. That makes this a 135 pattern. You'll see the 3 is in the middle there on January 4th. And there's a lot of symmetry here. So this is an important top if it's forming here in this. Now, if we close above 1900, or so in the gold today, I would say this is a breakdown, and we're probably going to go a whole lot higher. But right now, it went right to 1896.80. That's very close to 1897, boys and girls. So if you did that trade, put your stop at break even. You shade it for $0.50 or whatever you have to shave it by $1. Put your stop at 1896, and if it gets back there, you stand aside and wait to see what happens. I wouldn't keep that overnight unless it had at least a $10 or $12 move in my favor. So I hope that gives you an idea of what we're watching here. We're going to take a little break here. 877-927-6648. We'll be right back.
Markets can rise and fall like the tides. Subscribe to Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, and you too can ride the wave. Basil Chapman is an authority in technical analysis. His Chapman Wave trading system has been helping traders identify trends and capitalize on momentum in the markets since 1984. TFNN invites you to test Basil's proprietary Chapman Wave trading methodology with a monthly subscription to the Opening Call newsletter for only $149. Your subscription to the Opening Call comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, as well as daily market updates on key indexes, stocks, and commodities. Ride the wave! Sign up for the Opening Call risk-free today.
If you're not currently using the Taz Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The Taz Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, Taz understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the Taz Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the Taz Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today.
Hey there, I'm Andy Arbertine with Tiger Precious Metals and Stones. Whether you're looking to buy and sell precious metals or trying to find the perfect diamond ring, I'm here to help. I have over 15 years of experience with diamonds and precious metals. You can call me directly at 727-329-8245, and I will personally answer any questions you have and help you find exactly what you're looking for. I will be your personal concierge in the metal and stone business. Give me a call today, 727-329-8245.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, folks, I've posted the symbols on my CQG machine for the Chicago Mercantile Exchange foreign exchange contracts. You see the euro, the Japanese yen, Canadian dollar, British pound, and the Australian dollar. Why they say a DA, I don't know. But Leo Malamed brought these to the Merc in 1972. They still represent only about 1% of the foreign exchange markets, but it's maybe a little bit more now because it's getting a little bit bigger. But in 1972, if you were trading foreign exchange, the only way you could do it would be through one of the banks. And when I was trading at Conti Commodities, there were two gentlemen in that office there that was trading through one of the banks in Chicago. They had their office there. Their names were Ed Sakota and Bruce Kovner, who went on to do great things. And they just started trading, and all they did was foreign exchange. They didn't do anything with any of the futures, and everything. They had their own little office area back there. Their broker was Mike Harris, and there was a third guy there. Mike Marcus traded there, but he traded out of his home in Malibu most of the time. But he would come in once in a while. But I would, every once in a while, I'd buy a bunch of bagels at I Enjoy Bagels there in Malibu, not Malibu, Santa Monica, and I'd bring him into the office early because, if the guy's there. So one day I brought him in some bagels and stuff, and Mike Harris got really angry with me. I wasn't a broker. I was a customer, but he thought I was trying to steal the customers, Bruce Kovner and Ed Sakota, and I knew both those guys, but I had nothing to do with any of that. And anyway, there was a big argument that ensued, and we finally worked it out, and Roy Fassel intermediated and say, look, if you don't want the bagels, don't eat the bagels. But everybody loved the bagels, so it didn't make any difference. The difference here is this. If you're trading at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, folks, you're trading with a legitimate contract, a buy and sell legitimate contract, and you pay a usually $4 in and out fee. Okay, now if you're trading at a Forex bank, the Forex bank works by itself. The Forex bank are basically booking all the trades that you put on. In other words, if you want to sell the euro, they're going to take the other side of it because they're dealing with thousands of customers, and they have two risk managers on the books watching to make sure that they don't get over leveraged on any particular currency so they can't get hurt. If they have one heavy size commitment, they'll lay it off with Citibank or Saxo Bank or something like that. But that's not a contract. So what they do is they usually charge 1 pip. which is $12.50 for the euro, $10 for the Japanese yen, the Canadian dollar. Well, you stop and think, if you're doing a $4 trade versus a $10 trade, you're paying a heck of a lot of commission. And over a period of a month, if you did a trade a day, you're probably saving $400 a month just by trading through the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. And that's a legitimate contract. And they can handle just about anything normal for smaller traders. 40, 50 lots is no problem. If you start dealing in, huge amounts like 3 and 4 and 500 contracts that many people do, then you have to go through the Forex banks. But when you do it that size, they get their commissions down to be very, very small. I hope that explains it. If you go to the CME website, that'll give you a pretty good idea of how this thing operates. But they're the best things to trade for a beginning trader. If you learn how to do these are just as smooth as glass, and you just can't ask for anything better than them. I mean, they're just very, very good. So try to learn your trading and try to do the euro and the yen and all that stuff. In fact, in the meeting yesterday, I suggested that the folks learn to do that because they traded the Turkish lira. The second translator that was there, both of the translators were exceptionally well versed. I mean, they really understood the language. I certainly didn't, but I don't know what they said. I said or not, but it was really good. And the real back shot of this, folks, you won't believe how many people listen to TFNN in Turkey and Syria. I was shocked. And they do translations too, a part of the shows. I mean, it was really amazing that TFNN stretches out that far. So they said to say hello to everybody, which I certainly did. But they kept me for 2.5 hours, which I enjoyed very much. But some of the questions were hard for me to answer because they related to cryptocurrencies and blockchains, and I don't know enough about that, to make a real adequate decision. So I hope that helps. If you don't understand it, then, let me know. Drop me an email, larrypesavento@gmail.com, and I'll try to explain it a little bit better. But that's pretty much it. At the CME, you're trading an actual valid contract. And if you're trading at the Forex, you're trading it, against the bank itself. And it's same thing, just different venues. That's really what you're, paying close attention to. Now, let's get back to the gold here for just a minute. We need to talk about that, because we are at the proverbial moment of truth, boys and girls. Let's get this up here so we can see. We've been waiting for this number in gold since Hector was a pup, and that dog's 9 years old now. Here it is, 1897.5 was the number we were looking for. So far, the high today was 1896.8, and if you shaded it by $1, which you probably usually do on something like that, you want to put your stop at break even right now, because if it gets above 1900 or so, this thing is going to fail, and we could go a whole lot higher. But if it doesn't fail, then you're looking at this potential 135 pattern, and silver is lagging badly. Silver is not even making a 61, at least the last time I checked. I'm pretty sure that's right. It has not even made a 61% retracement of the previous day's range. So, and platinum, it just looks pathetic. So, I mean, this could be a very interesting thing that we have going on here in the gold market today. We've been waiting for this for a very long time. Unfortunately, we were left at the door when we were trying to buy it at 1752. It got to 1754 and then left us at the gate. I didn't chase it. And then that's pretty much, what I was working on at that time, trying to get it bought. But there's another one that's also very interesting here, folks, and that is if you take a look here, we talked about this yesterday because we did get up to the 158.10 level, I believe, which was a 61% retracement here in the bonds. So anything above 158.10 suggests that you could go a whole lot higher, and then that would make it even a bigger move to the upside. So I helped test it out. Right now, Dudette is asking where I am. Right now, I am outskirts of Texas. In Austin, Texas. I had to come down to visit a very sick friend, nothing to do with COVID or anything, and I'm getting ready to fly back to Tucson today. Unfortunately, my G7 jet, my Gulfstream 7 that I bought last year for $7.6 million, has to be reconfigured. Well, it's right here on my desk. It's a scale model, 1/200th of a G7. I think it says right on the side here. It says American Airlines. So that's what's going on. Anyway, we'll see what's happening. I've had people come to visit me. That came with private planes into Tucson. It's called the Millionaire Terminal, Millionaire AIRE Terminal, and you couldn't believe some of the planes that have come in to visit me. I've had a couple of hedge fund guys come in. It was really quite amazing, and had a couple famous people that came in their jets, and I never asked to go for a ride because I don't really care whether they get up in a plane or not. Hey, let's take a break. 877-927-6648.
Hi folks, this is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
You could be making money off the stock market. And if you're already making money off the stock market, you could be making a lot more. Check out TFNN and Tiger TV and get expert investing advice to give you the power to control your financial future. Go to TFNN.com and find the newsletter for you. Whether you're into trading gold, metals, futures, currencies, or options, you'll get advice and analysis to help you seriously get ahead. TFNN also features trading services with a 30-day money-back guarantee for new subscribers, as well as TFNN's Tiger Den trading room, trading software, and educational webinars for all trading levels. And make sure you check out Tiger TV for free on TFNN.com or TFNN's YouTube channel for live financial content from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern on market days. Stop watching on the sidelines while other people get rich and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Chart. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, the folks in the den are talking about Tucson and the fact that we have Davis-Monthan Air Force Base there, which is the largest plane graveyard in the world. They've got planes from every war that are there. If you ever come to Tucson, you've got to go to the Plane Museum because it is just absolutely awesome. One of my funniest stories was, 25 years ago when I first moved here. Jimmy Elder, Dr. Elder, the second student that I ever had, whose father actually had studied under W.D. Gann. Jim was a double doctor. He's a dentist, plus he has a doctor. He's a medical doctor in pathology. And so he was out visiting, and we went to play poker, and we actually got into a little tournament. We did okay, and one of the colonels was in the game, and his job was with the the aeronautical stuff. And they started chatting, and he says, "Well, why don't you come over?" And he said, "We'll put you in the simulator." And so Jim has his own plane, so he went over there and he did the simulation. And oh my God, he to this day he never stops talking about how awesome it was to get in there and actually look like you were going to go to the moon and stuff like that. So anyway, let's move on here, talk about some other things. I posted the chart of silver. Folks, you can see where we are. This is a daily chart now, folks. This is a daily, and look where we have now. We've got gold up at the 786 on the weekly, and we've got the silver is not even making a 62% retracement of this daily move. To me, that is not very bullish. I might be wrong, but that's it. And if you look at platinum, it's flat out not very bullish. I mean, there's just no question about it. It's not having enough of a rally to even move anything. You know what I'm saying? So that's the main thing. I'm laughing to myself because I remember that day so well. I had just bought a new car, and I was Jim. We went to the DMV to get the plates, and I always get vanity plates. So I was trying to get something Fibonacci. Everything was taken. I couldn't get anything. And Jim says, "Well, why don't you use no risk? You're always preaching no risk." And I said, "Yeah, okay, I'll get no risk." So he comes back about a month later, and I've got the new plates on the car. We're back now by Mountain Air Force Base, and I stop and get gas, and this little teeny bopper from the University of Arizona is right behind me, and she's looking at the plates, and she says, "No risk." She says, "Ooh, that's very interesting. What does it mean, no risk?" And I said, "Well, I work at Davis Mountain Air Force Base, and I teach the F-10 the Top Gun pilots how to eject, in case something goes wrong." She says, "That is such a cool job." She said, "Would you like to go out and have a drink sometime?" And I thought Jim was going to lose his dentures, even though he doesn't wear dentures. And it was really quite funny. Anyway, that's needless to say, I don't have a good wine that goes with peanut butter and jelly, but it was funny, and he still teases me about that to this day. Okay, I bluffed enough. I don't have anything else to say. 877-927-6648. So pay attention here, folks, because we've got big things coming in the market with volatility. It's going to be so volatile that it's going to scare a whole lot of people, in my opinion. So let's remind ourselves that these markets can move up and down. So you've got to be prepared to see whenever that actually happens to do that. We're having another big correction in the grain markets, folks. We made new lows for the bean oil, bean meal, and also December corn. December corn shattered the old low here. We got out of it 28 cents ago, but we'll get up here and take a look at it. You'll be able to see. Okay, I know. Listen, folks, there's a dude out there over in Connecticut, and he knows who he is, but he thinks that all my stories are BS. Well, they might be, but they ain't coming from me, because my mama told me if you remember what you said at 10, you don't have to remember what you said at 2. So if you tell the truth at 10, you can remember the truth at 2, and so that's pretty good. Yes, Duffy, she was a flat-out 10. She had her little, it was really quite funny. It was very, very funny. Well, I got some other stories when Mark Douglas would come out here. When he moved here from Chicago, a lot of these guys that he interviewed for the book, trading in the zone, they would come and be interviewed, and so they would stay 2 or 3 days sometime, and they would go to the dancing bars where the girls dance on the where those aluminum poles or whatever they are, and there were some of the funniest stories that but Mark and I, whenever we went there, I think we went there twice during those years, we would sit way in the back so we wouldn't be bothered by anybody. One of the girls comes over and sits, with us, and she says, "Well, what do you do?" Mark asked her. She says, "Well, I'm at the University of Arizona," and she says, He says, "What are you studying?" She says, I study geology," and I said, "That's pretty good." And she said, "Where are you from?" He says, "Well, I'm from Chicago." She says, "Well, I know where Chicago is." She says, that's in the Midwest, isn't it? And he said, yes, he said, that's true. He said, I won't go into the rest of the story, but anyway, those are some of the fun things. Yeah, Macaroni's on Sunday. He said Macaroni's is closed now, Danny. They've closed them. Both of them closed in town about a year ago. I tried to support them the best I could, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, let's get back to these grains. We've made new low recovery lows now, and we're making new recovery lows now. We just broke below $15 a bushel. In the July soybeans, we got to $14.96 or something like that. So those are just a couple of things that we want to pay close attention to now, because this market did turn badly, and what goes up must come down, except for things in the stock market. But that's what we're paying attention to. So let's remind ourselves that that's what we're looking at when we're watching some of these things unfold. If you have any questions, 877-927-6648. We will have Tim Bost as our guest tomorrow. He's got some really great stuff, as always, and we want to be watching to what he's going to do. People ask me all the time, where do I think that the crude oil is going? Mr. Z's been bullish this. I believe he got his wish. He got it above 60. I don't know if it got above 67 or not. Came pretty close. If not, I don't remember exactly. But you can see here we hit that 78% level on Sunday, and it has had this nice strong move so far. And I know it got above 66. So whether it got above those old highs at 67, I haven't been able to check that today because I have data problems where I am, and it makes it a little more difficult to see some of these things move forward. So let's remind ourselves that some of these things are a little bit delayed, and I don't want to make it any more difficult on us than what we're like. One of the markets that has been extremely bearish and is getting very close to some pretty good buying support here, and that is the July soybean meal. We really need to be watching that because we're breaking down now below these lows that were made in March and April. Then we had those real bullish reports where the market shot up to the ABCD, perfect Gartley, right there at 458, and then bada bing, bada boom, and that goal on that comes in at about 328 in there. We're not very far away, so that's something that you want to really put that one in your Mr. Z, I'm sure, is watching it, but that will take you back to the lows that we made back in December, on December the 7th. So these are great moves coming, folks. We're having tremendous volatility over these grains, and we want to going to try to get to put those in. We had a really good trade going in the euro today. Let's break even on that, folks, if you're in that one. We'll be right back. 877-927-6648.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Okay, folks, we're back and we're chatting about some of the things that are going on in the market. I did post a chart of the crude oil. This is with the AI program that we're looking at. It looks like we've reached some type of resistance area, and we should be heading down. If the market would happen to get above 66.54, it's trading at 66.21 right now. That would tell us that this model is not working right. And believe me, folks, it's only right about 7 out of 10 times, and even then, it makes it a little difficult to quantify it sometimes. What it's basically for is to try to get really close to the spots. We have really interesting things that should happen, and we're over one of those right now in the gold market, folks. We're trading at 1894. The high has been 1896.80, and if this is correct, we should start lower here in the gold market for the rest of the day. Now, if you're going to do something like this, if you see a quote that says 1896, you flat out wrong, and your truck's on the wrong road, and you've got to get out of the way. So you're only risking $2.20 in a contract that's worth $189,370, and you don't want to stand in front of that puppy because it can be a little bit messy as you go through and see some of these things. So keep in mind that those are a few things that we're watching that I think can be very, very important, and then we'll have a better idea of what we're looking at some of these things. So hold on one second, folks. I have to change a little bit of an order here, and then we'll find out where we stand on some of these other things. I'm watching these things very closely because we're at critical levels, as we always are over these lunar things, but these are the kind when you get these really wild moves, and if you can get in, without risking an arm and a leg, it makes it a lot better for yourself. So I hope that gives you an idea of what I'm watching as I look at these things unfold here today. As far as the stock market, we haven't reached the old high of a 42.80. No, 43. What was it? I don't remember. It was 42.37. Yeah, 42.37 and change. We've been to 42.12 on this run so far. We rallied down to 8. We went to 82, and then we rallied back a little bit here. I don't know exactly how much it was, but it was interesting to see. We're having good volatility, and we're going to start seeing volatility in just about everything. And I believe that if we look at this, from a risk-reward basis, you're going to have some of the best things. Yeah, the problem is some of these things happen in the middle of the night. And believe me, unless you don't sleep like I do, you miss some of them. That's it. Fortunately, last night I was able to see what was happening with that euro contract because it was acting, so absolutely perfectly. I sent a video out on this, and I said, you've got to look at this really closely here because we're making new highs, and we're setting right at the 1.618 expansion and the 1.27 on the long-term dailies. And I said, you're within, 2 or 3 pips, and it went 4 pips beyond where you should have been filled. And, it hasn't broken very much. It's only broken about 40 points, but now you're in a risk-free trade. So that's the whole thing, is to try to get to a risk-free trade, just like in the gold market. If you get to a risk-free trade, you got it better off than most people of what you're looking for here. One thing that would be helpful, folks, if you got any suggestions, I know I'm going to get one from my good friend Paul over there in Connecticut to tell me to shut up. But if you have any suggestions on things to put on in the gold in the show here, it would really be helpful because it gives me some things to talk about. The question about the currencies was a really interesting question because it's much better to trade the currencies at the CME because it's cheaper, and the problem is they close during certain hours, and there's certain problem for trading during the day and holding positions. It's really great, but if you're a huge trader, you can't beat a Forex bank, and you're only going to pay you're only going to pay a few dollars a contract on your size anyway. If you're a smaller size working at a Forex bank, they're going to take you to the woodshed and take a lot of your money away from you. So let's take a look at it. Stan Harley will be back with us soon, folks. Stan is under the weather right now, but he'll be back. I spoke with him this morning. He's doing much better. And he still thinks the S&P is going higher. He hasn't changed his mind at all, and so that's all I can tell you. But hopefully we'll have him on next week if he's back at work, and we'll have him on. But we will have Tim Boss tomorrow, and also on Thursday. If this lunar eclipse is going to do anything, we're going to have Mr. Winsky on for a cameo appearance, so that we can throw vegetables at him in case it didn't work, and we'll throw him roses if it did work. So those are just a few things that we're keeping a close eye on. But these patterns that you see in the DAX and the FTSE, all of them are bearish. And there was one other one that looks really interesting because this is Dr. Copper, and you'll notice here. You'll see the Dr. Copper here is going to have a lot of resistance up there in that 462 because you've got lower tops in there. That's a perfect 135 pattern, boys and girls. It cannot be any more perfect than that. And not only that, what's interesting is that D factor there at I'm going to do this one myself, by golly. Yeah, at 460, if the copper gets to 460, I don't know where it is, but at 460, this old cowboy is going to shake the old purse out and maybe find a super mini contract in copper if I can at one of the exchanges, and put a few pennies on at that, because that is a perfect 135 pattern. It couldn't be drawn any better if Picasso himself had done it. So anyway, those are just a few things. We've got someone calling in. Shut the front door and raise the rent. It's Ron from Charlotte. Ron, how are you?
Great. How are you, Larry?
Still above ground, living the dream, my friend. What can I do for you?
I'm watching the grains markets closely, especially wheat. And I'm curious about how these grains markets trade in relation to the dollar. I know, of course, currency relationships, but I just have a fifth grade level of knowledge related to, like, trading the grains, and I thought, well, if the dollar is going one way, the grains would tend to go the other way.
No. You got to think of it as a demand market, Ron. And don't worry, your fifth grade education is good with me because the fifth grade was very important. I spent there 3 years in the fifth grade before I moved on to the sixth grade. So you're okay. Just look at the charts, my friend, and keep it as simple as possible because I don't know anything about a lot of these fundamentals and all this other stuff. And that's one of the things I tried to tell these folks in Turkey yesterday is, look, you don't have to be a fundamentalist. Just look at the chart, and if prices are going higher, there's more buyers. If prices are going lower, there's more sellers. It's not much more, try to be a fundamentalist in the type of environment we have now with cryptocurrencies and all the technical stuff that's going on, you'll drive yourself to you'll go wacko. Whereas if you're just a simple technician, you can do it. So don't worry about the dollar. There will be times when the yen or the peso or something could get a little crazy, but most of it, just do the charts and you're going to be fine.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for calling in, Ron. I appreciate it.
Hear the music. So thank
That's
you so
it,
much.
baby. Got to pay a few bills for Tommy T. We'll be right back. 877-927-6648.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Markets can rise and fall like the tides. Subscribe to Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, and you too can ride the wave. Basil Chapman is an authority in technical analysis. His Chapman Wave trading system has been helping traders identify trends and capitalize on momentum in the markets since 1984. TFNN invites you to test Basil's proprietary Chapman Wave trading methodology with a monthly subscription to the Opening Call newsletter for only $149. Your subscription to the Opening Call comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, as well as daily market updates on key indexes, stocks, and commodities. Ride the wave. Sign up for the Opening Call risk-free today.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
Hi, folks. This is Steve Rhodes. Stay tuned for another great hour of the Trader's Edge, heard here at TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I was just taking a quick look at the soybean market here, and we've had a little bit of a bottom coming in, but what's happened is it looks like the soybeans are failing, and so I bought them earlier and made a nice little 6 or 7 cent move. Also, what I've done is I posted the market for the gold. Remember I said we were going to go short here at 94. If you see 96 print, folks, you're absolutely wrong here. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention because these things don't work all the time. But the thing is, you don't have to risk very much when they do. So just watch that as we go through because we could still go and make new highs. Because remember the number, we shaded it by a little bit, but the 1897.50 might still get hit again. in the gold. So and it might even go to higher. It might even go to 1900, which is, the other. You got to give it a little bit of leeway here, but to me, this is the place where you want to be getting short the gold for a pretty good move as we look at these markets going through here. Regarding the grain markets, we're going to be doing some work over the weekend. I've got to do a little bit of traveling tomorrow, but this weekend I will have a whole new report on getting ready for the second leg of this bull market in grains, because this is nothing more than the big washout before the next big move. So let's remind ourselves that that is something that we have to have on our plate, because this is just a reaction to a weather market. Longer term, I think it still looks pretty good. And this was not unexpected. You could see that vertical move. Vertical markets lead to vertical descents, except in the stock market. So that's a little different one. But if you keep a close eye on these things, they will certainly keep moving you in the right direction. So tomorrow we're going to be having Tim Boss as our guest. Make sure you come by. Try to do some good things for your neighbors. They need help. And most of all, live every day in an attitude of gratitude. And may God bless. And make sure, folks, that you do something for your neighbors, because there's a lot of people out there that are still hurting big time. So we'll see you all on the flip side tomorrow.